off of vacation, kind of getting things started. I allotted 2 weeks for that. This is day 13 of 14, and I'm close, very close, but not. I'm going to continue anyway because things are happening and it's good. So, my previous series explained how I went from over 450 pounds down to 290 pounds, and I'm continue that effort um, through the past 2 weeks after I went on vacation, where I ate like a pig. As you can see from the thumbnail here, that is me eating a sausage roll from Greg's, which was definitely one of the greatest achievements of mankind. I'll tell you that. I had one. I wanted 30 just for that sitting alone. So after that trip, obviously, I was able to get down to 288 pounds. Then with that was with fasting. When I was eating normal food, I was down to 290, and that's where I'm at right now. So uh, that being said, the whole idea has been this whole time is to duplicate success and keep on persevering and to keep on dropping weight. Now, throughout that, it being summertime, um, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more activity. People want to do more things. That's the one advantage of winter is that everyone just wants to stay warm and at home. Whereas in summertime, everyone wants to be out constantly. And that makes life a little bit more complex, I would say. Hey, Serge, welcome. I'm glad you're here, buddy. But yeah, so summertime, everybody wants to do things. So right now, I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to take a bus to Cleveland to visit some friends down there. There's stuff happening in Ontario as well. I also have a friend in BC who wants me to come out in August, which I'm like, I want to come too. But how do you work with being overwhelmed? I know for myself that has definitely been something that I discussed yesterday with regards to boundaries and how they're not always a bad thing, but at the same time, you don't want to say no. For myself, I'm a weirdo, and an introvert. I need downtime to collect myself and stay myself and not get skewed and all that kind of weird stuff. And I learned early on in life that I wasn't going to reach the goals that I had for my life by being an introvert. I needed to be out there. I needed to be talking with people. I needed to be a big personality. And I was able to do that now. Conveniently, I also became a huge person. So, but that being said, was one of the hardest parts was to learn how to say no and not just be kind of a Debbie Downer. Because a lot of times people want you to come out stuff, and it's a weird situation. So I was always raised was that if you're not invited, don't go. You're not invited, and if you're not invited, don't ask to be invited because that's ridiculous. And people don't really follow those rules anymore, and they just say, "Well, if you want to come, you should just came." And I'm like, that's not how that works, right? Um, so that all being said, when people do invite you and you say no, it kind of leaves a bitter taste in their mouth of whether they want to invite you again or anything. And even I've had circumstances where I had stuff like going on, and I asked people were like, "Hey, can you come to this?" I was like, "Absolutely." And then it was like, "Hey, man, something's come up, or I'm traveling, or what have you." And they're like, "Okay, next time." And next time is like in 2 months. So that being said, and I don't hold that against anybody, of course not. That'd be ridiculous. But it's more so helping people understand that, oh, I'm doing this, there's something in the way of that means that it gives me the ability to interact with that person and follow up with that person and all like other things. But one of the things that's happening, especially now, is that there's always something to do in the summertime, constant things to do. So how do you set up your boundaries and be able to interact and maximize that enjoyment? Because let's be honest, especially if you're where I'm from, which is in Toronto, Canada, um, winter sucks. It's horrible, and especially now that I've lost some over 160 pounds, I am terrified about how cold I'm going to be in the winter time. Um, so you know, I want to enjoy this stuff, and especially the way I'm feeling these days, and the size that I'm at, I want to go and show off too. I want to dress nice and do things. So how do I balance all of that? It's a great question. And that's where it comes down to having a set schedule. So, like today, normally I post a reel or stories on YouTube daily and Facebook and everything. And I do that um, as a way of accountability for myself. And I check in. And today I was able to work out and I actually ate clean and it was great. However, I'm feeling the effects of the last couple of days where I indulged a little bit. I had some ice cream, which was fantastic. I tried a sorbet, also delicious. And I don't necessarily feel bad for it. I feel foolish, but now I have to deal with the consequences of that, right? So over the last few days, that's really where I'm at, and that's really what I'm trying to uh, uh, negotiate with myself. So today, I know that I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't feeling top notch, and I have things happening tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, possibly Saturday, and now Sunday as well. So now I have to organize myself, and this is where fasting and everything kind of gets really difficult. Um, so one of the things I've done was just like we talked about with having a plan and establishing boundaries is okay. So if I'm gonna be eating every single day this week, how do I manage that? So one of those ways is specifically that I'm going to restructure things so that while I can't do a long-term fast this week, I've planned it out for next week, and that's fingers crossed it sticks, and hopefully we don't have too many plans. But I know we do have plans, and that's going to get thrown out the window. But what I can do is limit myself to a very small eating window, right? So what I'm doing is I'm only having one meal a day, and also to doubly so, I'm trying to make sure that food is very strictly regimented because uh, if I'm careful in that fashion, then I'm going to see the payoff that I would. If it could be worse, you could be stuck in a mini sub bus. Ah, Mick, thank you very much for that. Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I can only imagine how difficult it would be for those guys and wherever they may be. And I hope they're, well, I hope they've decided on one individual corner to poop as opposed to everywhere because that is not going to go well. And well, hopefully their controller holds up. It's one of those things that is definitely horrible. That's you're absolutely right, Mick. But as I said, one of those things is knowing where you can try and accommodate everything is helpful. However, you want to remember one of the key components, and I'm actually helping a friend with that right now who's doing things. Um, he too is trying to lose weight, and he's doing it for his wedding. And I threatened him. I said, "Listen, uh, he's getting married in October." I said, "By then, I will have been taking my health quite seriously for about a year." I said, "And I will be telling everyone there what I've achieved because I'm a narcissist that way." So I said, "Do you really want your wedding to be where everyone hears about your friend?" No. So, so he too has doubled his efforts and talking him through that process where it's like, okay, listen, you don't necessarily have to be super strict with everything, but there are certain things that will be key components of those principles. So knowing where you can bend gives you the ability to really enjoy those circumstances and be able to partake. So like this Friday, we're trying to uh, I'm glad you guys are saying hi. That's nice. But like we're trying to arrange to go to a concert, kind of park concert thingy, whatever that is, with a lot of old school musicians that my wife went to with her friends and didn't even realize that it was because that's not her type of music. Whereas me, I love the of the '90s. So it's all those kind of guys and performers, and I'm excited to go. But at the same time, I'm like, there's a ton of trucks, a ton of bars and stuff, and I'm like, might not be a good situation to be in. But see what happens. It should be interesting either way. So that being said, one of the key components is knowing where we can be flexible. So I'm leaning up to all those things where I'm not going to eat all day and have just the one individual meal, and that's it. And then when I'm full, that's a component of self-regulating. Okay, then I'm done. Not to worry, not to exacerbate the situation. But that's part of becoming coming back to being normal, right? Uh, A lot of people have asked me with regards to the fasting if that's going to be how I live going forward. No idea. What I do know is that it's helping me drop weight as well with the working out and being active and going on walks. All those things are helping, but I don't know where I'm going to end up. And that's why knowing where I can be flexible and continue my progress is a key component of being able to participate and be part of the joy of excitement. Because I'll tell you, like if I um, am up on sugar for a couple days and then stop taking it, I'm gonna have 2 days where I'm just not fun to be around for myself. I'm uncomfortable. So leading up to that and eating clean when I can, as best I can, and even when we're going out to try and eat clean again, is a key component to um, enjoying all that the summer has to offer without feeling negatively or that you have to be punishing yourself. Right now, I'm tracking to that I'm having around 20 hours between meals, and I'm trying to stagger it out as best I can. And it's absolutely, listen, and I'm reading more studies on sugar where it's like, oh no, even recipes that we have that demand sugar, I'm trying to go for using things like honey or other things that may help, like just using fruit instead to try and help, because it's just so debilitating to your body that and listen, I explained this to my mom where it's like I would like breakfast, then dessert for breakfast, then lunch, then dessert for lunch, and then dinner, and then dessert for dinner, and then maybe a little midnight amuse bouche dessert because to have sweet dreams. And that will kill you. That will kill you. And knowing what I know now, uh, I feel so much better on a daily basis when I stay away from sugar. That it's one of the key components to my ability to push my body, my ability to stay of sound mind, my emotional regulator or ability to regulate my emotions is better, my personal activity is better, my hunger is better, and I would say just the thrill of being around me is better, just in general, when I'm not partaking in any sort of sugar, uh, like sugary drinks or anything like that. It's definitely a key component, and that's one of the huge things that you can do at all steps of the game to make yourself feel better on a daily basis. So I think that's where I'll leave it today. Is one of the key components is say yes, but know where you can be flexible so you can be part of the party instead of the downer of it. But thanks, honey. I appreciate that greatly. But I think that's where I'll leave it today. So if you like this, please share, like, subscribe, and I am going to continue tomorrow and the next few days to keep discussing how I'm progressing and how I'm dealing with summertime. And it should be exciting. So have a wonderful evening, and I'll be back tomorrow around 10 p.m. and we'll discuss more stuff.